living out there in Elmira, New York. You're in the guard. You're doing administration. You've done a lot of crazy shit for COVID. You've tried to make advertising work with this job at the same time. Tell me, man, like what's it been like for a guy like you?
Well, yeah, it's definitely the past, like, the past 7, 8 months have been real interesting. I originally moved out to New York. I'm from Los Angeles, California, born and raised. I moved out to New York in about 2017 because I got a job in advertising. I was working. One of my first jobs was at Saatchi and Saatchi, New York, and we were working on a military account, USAA. I'm sure you're familiar with them. They're banking, insurance, life insurance, home loans, car loans, all the above. And that was kind of like my first foray professionally as a copywriter in advertising. And then ended up transitioning over to pharma because I heard the money was better. Obviously pharmaceuticals ain't going anywhere. This country is basically, that's one of the big sectors of economically in this country, and there's a lot of money that gets pumped into the marketing and advertising of those drugs. And yeah, our job is to basically just kind of make sure that we market them effectively, and make sure that we don't get sued in the process. But joining the guard, I originally joined in California before I moved to New York, and then I ended up getting that job, and then had to transition out to New York at a different guard base out here. And the company that I'm at, the agency that I'm with now, has been very supportive. I can't really say enough about them. FCB Health, New York, they've been really great. There's some great people over there, and I've been really happy to be able to be a part of that team. Doing good work on stuff, but the transition has been a little rough. Going from working full time as a copywriter to working full time as an airman, responding to the COVID-19 pandemic, doing different stuff. In the Air Force as far as the training, like where we met in Keesler, and doing active duty stuff more recently, and it's been a little bit of like it's been tough to juggle, but I mean it's something that I'm passionate about, advertising, uh, and it's something that I feel like has been very rewarding up to this point. But yeah, man, it's tough because I'm about to step back in a few weeks, full time again, and I've really been out of the loop. It's I feel like it's but I feel like it's kind of going to be like a culture shock to jump from military lifestyle to corporate lifestyle, back to military, back to corporate. And but I'm getting the hang of it though, so I think we'll be fine.
So
Hopefully, knock on wood.
what I want to know about is what is the military having you do out there for COVID-19?
So yeah, like as you know, pandemic. Once the pandemic hit, military, you know, units in each state were activated to coordinate a response. And since I'm in the guard, they can't activate you guys. You guys are already active, being active duty. So that responsibility falls on the guard members, Army and Air Force, to coordinate a response. And basically, yeah, man, just going out and trying to facilitate the travel restrictions. And that was, dude, that was something in itself, because a lot of people coming off those airplanes were like, what the hell is this? I don't want to fucking fill out this shit. What is this paper? You guys want to come to my house? You guys are going to know where I live? What is all this stuff? And we're there, unarmed, just in the airports, asking civilians all these probing questions. So it did get a little tense at certain moments, and it was an interesting that was an interesting experience to say the least. But once the travel restrictions were lifted domestically, we transitioned over to a vaccination response, which was a little bit more well received because yeah, we definitely had some characters. People were asking if this was communist, Russia, and
What?
yeah, people were like, "Where's my Star of David?"
What?
Why are you asking for all my personal information? And keep in mind, as as guard members in the United States military and the armed forces, it was a little bit unnerving to be in a civilian area in an airport asking these civilians to fill something out that was mandatory. However, it was required. I shouldn't say mandatory. It was required, but it wasn't mandatory. If that makes any type of sense, I don't even know who or how they came up with that requirement or that terminology. But so yeah, a lot of times people would just leave. They would ignore you. They'd be rude to you, whatever the case may be. And I understand, getting off a 4 hour flight coming from a different part of the country to, you know, to Elmira, New York, you think you're just going to go back to your house and have a good time, have a beer with your buddies, or go see your family, or if you're visiting. And yeah, so that was we got some interesting responses there, to say the least.
God damn, bro. That's definitely a huge difference compared to what I do as an active duty guy. Sounds like you have a lot more diversity in terms of like what you do every day. Um,
Well, I mean, for that job, yes, that was a unique kind of thing, obviously, because of the situation. And I wasn't even working in my AFSC particularly. I was working, you know, as a more of a liaison to or more of an intermediary for the Department of Health, because they needed assistance filling these roles where they were too spread thin. They didn't have enough manpower, so they called on us to come in and kind of help them out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Big Army, big Air Force. Come and help
Oh
us
yeah,
out.
oh yeah, dude.
For those
Got
of
those
you,
Title 30. Go ahead.
oh, I just want to say, for those that don't know, uh, I met Rico Richardson when I was going through tech school in Mississippi, Biloxi, Mississippi. And I got to tell y'all, he's the best goddamn roommate I had out of the four of them.
Appreciate that.
He's
Appreciate
one
that.
funny fucking dude. He's a titan of a person. I remember the first day I saw Rico Richardson, I was like 3 or 4 months in without a roommate. I was living the bachelor pad life out there, and all of a sudden I see this fucking giant man like standing in my room, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm your fucking roommate." And I'm like, "No." But he ended up being just the funniest fucking guy, and man, I fucking Rico, you're a good dude, man. I wish
Hey,
nothing but the best for you, bro.
Chris, the feeling is more than mutual, dog. And yeah, dude, I'm sorry I had to crush your whole situation when I walked in, man. I didn't have any choice, like I'm sure you're aware, but we made the best of it, dog, and we're boys to this day. Because of the shit that we did, and the shit that we know about, and the way that shit goes down, and our understanding. And I remember that one of the first conversations we had was like, look, we're both grown men. Yeah, we got to share this space together, but look, we can come to an understanding where I'm sure that this can be, we're gonna get through this. It'll be beneficial for the both of us. And dog, like I said before, the feeling is more than mutual, man. You're a great guy. I know you've been through a lot, man. You like, you have definitely fucking like, my utmost and deepest respect as a fucking human being, sir. So you're the
Same,
man.
brother. Same, brother. God damn, bro. It was so fucking funny having you around all the time. Um,
I appreciate that, man. Try to
so
make life as best as it can be.
so me and Rico, we both went through Biloxi, Mississippi Tech School. We went through Keesler during the pandemic of COVID-19, and I was at Keesler before all of that happened. So I had about 4 or 5 months of freedom. I could go out and I could check out the city and hang out with my friends. And I had a civilian girlfriend at the time. And once it happened, I she didn't believe me. I was having to tell her, like, look, I don't know when I'm going to get out of here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to see you anymore. And she was like thinking, I was lying, he's seeing somebody else, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I'm telling you the truth straight up. Like, COVID is getting real over here at Keesler. And next thing I know, I had to break up with my girlfriend. And, COVID was like a weird place when you're in the military during those times. Cause when you're in tech school, you're still kind of like in like halfway to all your freedoms, but you're not. You still have a lot of people yelling at you and telling you how to live your life. You wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and they're like, "Hey, get up! Get ready for school." You go walk, and it's like what 98% humidity out there. You go walk a mile and a half to school, drenched in sweat. And there's no air conditioning in those fucking
Oh
buildings.
no,
Nah,
definitely
man.
not.
Nah, bro. So
Dude, yeah, no, it's its own thing, man. I mean, for anybody that's been in the military, they already know the situation. People that haven't been, I mean, it's definitely a once in a lifetime experience, and you meet some people like in that environment that you know you really can form really good strong bonds with. And then there's some people in there that are just complete shitbags and that don't make it and they just wash out. And like you're saying, Chris, like you got one foot in and one foot out, kind of. You're still expected to kind of be in a training environment. However, you're kind of like given more autonomy where you can you can have some freedoms if you are responsible enough to maintain them and not fuck up, basically. So yeah, it was. But during COVID, dude, we were on we were on lockdown 24. It was like we couldn't leave the base unless we had a specific reason to. Most of the base was shut down. We were masked up everywhere. We couldn't, interact with other people regularly. They closed the common areas. Everything was really janky. I don't know, for lack of a better word.
So I have a wacky story, man, about Kiesler. I want to share it.
Of course.
So the roommate before you,
Oh shit. Okay.
a young man named Airman
Don't say his.
Mayfield. Oh
Oh,
shit!
oh shit! Okay, okay,
I don't
okay,
care. So
okay.
this young man, I remember man, he didn't even vape. He didn't even drink nothing. When I first met him, he was just like this guy that was just very sensitive and very quiet, very introverted, very nervous all the time. And I remember the first time I told him, like, "Hey man, like try a vape, see what happens." He was like, "Nah, man, like I don't know what my mom would say." I was like, "Bro, your mom's not here. Just fucking try this vape."
Oh Jesus!
This became the fucking railroad of destruction for this guy.
You turned him onto the dark side,
Oh my
and
god. Oh dude, you
there
have
was no
no
looking
idea.
back. There's no looking back once you taste that first. Once you taste that first pull of nicotine from a
Oh
vape,
my
dude,
god,
you're
bro.
corrupted forever. It's done. You might as
Next
well just start hiring prostitutes, gambling, drinking all night. You know.
dude. So so this young man,
Oh my goodness.
I start telling him like, "Hey man, like just have a couple of drinks with me, just stop being so worried, just feel it out." So next thing I know, a couple maybe 2 months, 3 months goes by and he's like, "Hey man, I'm going to go out with my buddies tonight. Um I'll see you later." And I was like, "Okay." And I turn around and he's dressed like exactly like I do. And I was like, "What the hell?"
What?
So maybe he got like an impression of like, "Oh, this is how guys dress when they go out." And I was like, kind of flattered, but kind of like weirded out at the same time. I was like,
Definitely,
well,
definitely.
whatever, you go do your thing, cowboy. And I remember, dude, I was playing video games, minding my own goddamn business,
As one
and
does.
yeah, and trying to just relieve some stress from like school. And I see this young man being pulled up by two other guys, like to the second floor, and they're like, "Hey, man, this guy's fucking drunk." And I was like, "Oh my god!" And here
Uh
comes
oh.
this this roommate of mine, and he can't even walk. This guy's like barely hanging on to life. He's like, as
My
soon as he gets
goodness.
through the door, he just like stumbles and slams into the cabinet, and he's fucked up, man. He can't even
Oh
talk
shit.
English, man. Now
Holy
he's talking
shit.
fucking French by now.
Holy fuck.
and and this homie, he's just so drunk that I'm like, "Oh god damn it, this is gonna suck." This is a Saturday night and I'm gonna have to babysit this guy. So
Oh my goodness.
anyway, this guy, he's just his eyes aren't working, his mouth isn't working, like nothing's working on this guy. He's just drunk out of hell. So I'm like, "Okay, man, like you need to go to the bathroom because I'm pretty sure you're gonna throw up. I'm like a
Oh my
thousand
god.
percent sure you're gonna throw up." And he was just like, "No, no, 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 no." I was like, "Ah,
Holy
fuck."
shit.
He's not listening to me. He's going on his bed, right? Next thing I know, I'm like, "Okay, well, the decent thing to do would be to go see if, he's turned in his card and,
Yep.
make sure that everything's all right. I've still got laundry to do." So I
Yep.
was like,
Yep.
"Look, man, I'm going to leave you here for just like 2 minutes. Don't fuck anything up." That's all I hear.
You have one job. Do not fuck anything up.
So I go
What?
down there, right? And I'm making sure, hey, he's good, right? Everything's turned in. And they're like, "Yeah, he's good, he's good." So I run back upstairs. Next thing I know, he's on his bed, and there's just like this lake of throw up all over the fucking place. and
Doggy, what
and
the
it's all
fuck?
over him, and he's still throwing up as I walk through the
Oh
door.
my
And I'm
god.
like, God damn, it smells like a fucking dead animal in here. You know what I'm saying?
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. So I grab him by the armpits, right? And I'm pulling him off the bed. And I'm like, okay, bro, we're taking you to the bathroom now.
Oh my
So
god.
I throw him in the bathroom. This guy's so drunk that he's just like smacking his head on the wall behind him. His fucking his head is like his mouth is like on the toilet rim the whole time. I was like, damn,
Holy
this guy's
fuck.
like he's like 21 years old, birthday drunk. He's
Oh
like,
my goodness.
yeah, he's like sorority girl drunk. Like, god damn. So
and for those that don't know, and you're in a military environment, there are certain expectations and there's certain rules and requirements that you have to follow to a T, or else you will be reprimanded severely. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just let y'all figure, put A to B here, because having throw up in your bed and all over the fucking bathroom floor, and one of the people, the MTI, the training instructors, or the training leaders come in and see your room like that, you are instantly getting shit kicked in your fucking mouth. Like there's no fucking recourse. There's no I'm sorry. There's no nothing like that. If anybody sees that, you're done. You're done. So this
dude.
guy. So what'd you do with this guy?
So I turned on a Joe Rogan podcast. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be babysitting tonight.
Oh my
No
goodness.
more just hanging out on my Saturday night. I'm gonna be
Fuck.
babysitting tonight. So
Holy
here's
shit.
this guy, and he was a mess, man. Like he had like 4 or 5 pizza boxes stacked up in his closet, a whole mountain of just like clean and dirty clothes just
Oh my
slopped into his
god.
closet, and his side of the bedroom was just dirty, and I was just like, damn, like this guy needs some water, right? So I grabbed one of his old used Subway cups, and I filled it with water, dumped out the
God
Dr.
damn.
Pepper or whatever the fuck he was drinking. And I was like, all right, man, you need to drink this water. You need to drink this water. And it smells like ass in here. So there he is.
Jesus
Like,
fucking Christ.
I don't know what he's doing. He's like singing or something in the fucking bathroom. And I'm like trying to put his fucking throw up filled comforter set and
Oh god.
all his stuff like in trash bags while he's doing his thing in the bathroom, right? And I'm trying to be a good guy. Like, I've been there before. I think everybody's been that drunk before, where they're like, "Damn, I need a buddy to make sure I don't die tonight."
Yeah, for sure.
And as I was throwing all that stuff in there, I was like, "Man, this fucking sucks. This guy owes me. He owes me some fucking dinner and some drinks, and he owes me a fucking, a
At,
bunch of
at,
shit."
at very least.
Yes, sir. So I was doing the decent thing because I used to be a bartender. I used to be a bartender for a couple of years, and I understand, where this guy's coming from. Everybody gets this drunk every once in a while, especially when you're really young. So I was trying to be a really good dude and trying to like, just just help this guy out. This guy did not know what was going on. So anyway, I'm like telling this guy like, look, man, um, it's been like 2 hours. It looks like you're sobered enough to at least say a sentence. I'm gonna go ahead and put you on the floor. I'm gonna give you this pillow that you haven't thrown up on, and you're gonna sleep on the floor. Take your shirt off because it's got throw up on it.
Oh my
And
god.
he's like, okay, I can do that. I can do that. I was like, all right. So I'm gonna go get my clothes from the laundry, right? I'm gonna be right back. Don't move. Don't move. So I come back and I got all my laundry. I swear to God, dude, like I'm like rushing. It's only been like 2 minutes, maybe less. And I bust through that door. And the next thing I see a young man crying on his bed with the comforter set that has throw up all over it that he pulled out of those trash bags I put in. And he's
What the
crying,
fuck?
and all I hear is like he's
Oh,
sloshing
what?
in his throw up, and
Oh
I
my
hear
god.
and it smells horrible. And
Oh
I just
god.
and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like I planned all of
Shit.
this to be just fine, and you fuck it all up, man. You fuck it all up.
Oh my god.
So
Well, I
I'm
mean,
like,
yeah, dude. Long story, well, dude. Long story short, you fucking don't listen. Don't vape out there, kids. Okay, because vaping leads to throwing up, and throwing up in your room leads to getting your fucking roommate wildly upset.
this should
And
be on a
Chris
fucking
did.
commercial.
Chris, dude, you honestly, the like, to fucking even help him out to that point, like, you went above and beyond. So damn, like, what ended up happening? What ended up happening?
So I'm on the phone with one of my friends, right? I'm telling her what's going on, and it's hilarious. And she's like, "You know what? Let's watch while we're on the phone together. Let's watch this show called Adventure Time. Yeah, Adventure Time.
Yep.
And it's this really trippy cartoon. It's really silly, really funny. And I'm on the phone with her for like a couple of hours because we're both bored and like just whatever. She's a good friend of mine. And I'm like watching this guy throw up in his sleep. So I like pull his head, right, to put it in the trash can while he's unconscious. And I'm like, oh man, I really hope this guy doesn't die on me like in his sleep because then I might go to jail. He's my fucking roommate, you know?
Dude, hell yeah.
So next thing I know, it's like fucking 4 or 5 in the morning. I'm like, okay, I'm exhausted, girl. I gotta go to bed. So I
Hmm.
sleep for like 3 or 4 hours. I wake up around like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm poking him, and I'm like, hey man, wake up, wake up, bro.
Oh
And
my
he's like,
god.
and he's still drunk. He's still drunk, and he's like,
Oh my god.
what do you want? Like, hey man, this place is disgusting. You got to help me clean. Like, we can't live like this. And he's like, he gets up from his throw up filled comforters, and he's like, he's like, I'm tired of you telling me what to do, bro. Man, fuck you. Like, I
Oh
hate you.
really?
Oh yeah, he's like, I fucking hate you. Don't ever tell me what to do anymore. You're a dick. Blah blah blah. I'm like, look, man. Like,
Whoa.
I don't want any of this. I just want this place to be clean. Just look, you had a rough night, and he's trying to fight me. He's got his fists, in a clench, and he's like,
He's trying to fight you.
yeah, man. And he's still drunk. And I'm telling him, like, look, dude, like, if you don't clean this place up by like 1 p.m., I'm going to call somebody because this is fucking disgusting and I live here. I'm going to call
Unbelievable.
somebody. And he's like, man, fuck you. Call somebody. Go ahead. Call an MTI or whatever. I'm like, all right. So I leave, right? And this is where I meet my civilian girlfriend at the time before COVID. And I tell her the whole story because I was just shopping and just trying to kill time. And I was telling some of my buddies, like, hey, check up on this guy. He's fucked up. He's crazy. He's a fucking madman. And
Holy
they're like,
fuck.
all right, man, we'll call him. We'll see what's up. And like, hey, he's I remember one of my buddies called me up and he was like, hey man, he's saying that you're just being hard on him and that he doesn't want to clean anything and he's just not happy with you. And I was like, what the fuck? This place is loaded with throw up. I watched his ass all night. you know? So I
Unbelievable.
so I tell this girl that's a cashier at one of these uh like kind of like a nerdish store. It's like got a lot of like figurines and video games and cool like I love Dragon Ball Z. It had Dragon Ball Z shit everywhere, and there's this giant statue of Goku in there for like 2 grand. And so I tell her this story, and she's like, "Wow, that's fucking hilarious." Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, let's go on a date sometime." She's like, "Awesome." So I got my girlfriend out of this experience, but it was kind of funny. My ex girlfriend out of this experience. Um. Anyway, so I go back to the dorm, and I give him extra time. It's like 2 or 3 p.m. And I walk in and it still smells like fucking throw up. There's still throw up stains on his
Oh my
mattress and
god.
there's throw up in the carpet. I'm like, oh my. And my buddy told me that he only used like all purpose cleaner. He didn't even use bleach or anything.
Oh god.
I was like, oh my God, bro.
Dude,
Like,
you need bleach, ammonia, fucking fire. You need goddamn everything. Burn it.
yes, sir.
Burn it.
So I called the fucking cavalry. I said,
Jesus.
MTI or MTL, hey sir, this gentleman, he's just not cooperative. He's left my place, full of throw up. He's been mean. I need you to help me out. So this guy's coming and he's like, don't worry about it, take care of it. And it felt like that scene from like Pulp Fiction when you got to call the wolf to take care of a problem. I was like, oh shit, I'm Samuel L. Jackson calling the wolf right now. You know what I'm saying? He's like, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. And I'm like, damn, this is about to be interesting. So he's like, look, man, give me his phone number and just wait outside your door and I'll be right there. And I was like, damn, okay. Next thing I know, this young man is souped up in his uniform and he's cleaning this whole place with bleach and this giant like trash can full of like cleaning products. And like, okay, we're gonna kick him out for you. And you get to have this whole room to yourself and anything else, Mr. Guerrero. And I was like, no, sir. So,
Wow.
I
Wow.
walked out of there with a big smile on my face. They took care of the problem, and he learned his lesson. And then you
Jeez.
showed up like 3 or 4 months later.
And yeah, and honestly, after that, dude, it could have been anybody. That is ridiculous. Like that bar was set so low when I showed up. I literally could have been like the worst roommate ever, and fucking probably still been 10 times better than that. That I mean, because that's just a breach of fucking human decency, bro. Like, how the fuck are you gonna come into this fucking room that we both share, completely trash it, throw up everywhere, not clean up, sleep in your fucking throw up? I'm helping you out. You totally disregard me. Fucking go to sleep in your own shit. Wake up the next day. I'm still helping you out. And then you got the nerve to get upset with me. And then on top of it, you're not fucking cleaning this shit. Yeah, dude, you had no choice. So, yeah, I'm happy to say that when I moved in to that room, it was spotless. I don't know if you had been cleaning it or it had been deep cleaned by those that had or by him or whoever had that that detail. But it was spotless when I got there, and yeah, we fucking we safe to say we didn't have any type of incidents like that when we were roomed up.
No,
So
sir. We keep a clean ship.
hell yeah,
But I did want to say, so after all that craziness, and I met Rico, I was actually dating another girl from the Air Force, so it wasn't a civilian anymore. I had an ex girlfriend in the Air Force that I was going through tech school with, and she wanted to tell you, Rico, sup, foo.
hey, tell her I said what's up, SA.
Yeah, she
The
said,
higher the sock, the
there,
higher the sock, the downer the fool.
there you go, man. That was the first thing she brought up. It made me laugh so hard today. But I'm still great friends with her today. She's still, doing her thing as uh, a weather forecaster. So anyway,
Nice,
I just wanted to
nice.
bring that up and tell you that she still remembers you, man. You're a
Yeah,
funny guy.
hey man, I listen. Those were some good times. Barring what you just said about your previous roommate, but like, yeah, like you said, dude. Once I got there, I like to keep shit lighthearted. I don't like to make shit heavy unless the situation calls for it. If that's the case, we can talk about shit and we can get into it. But like for the most part, hey, dude, we're both here. We know what our job is. We know what we got to do. We got to keep shit tight. We got to keep it clean, and have a good time, any way that we can. So, and that's the thing about those environments is in the military. As long as you understand that, and you got your buddies, your boys, your girls, whatever airmen, soldiers that are with you that can make those times more enjoyable. Enjoyable. That's what counts because yeah, those environments are built to suck. Like they're purposely going to suck. They're going to test you, and I can only imagine what you had to go through in tech school as a weather forecaster in the military. Like that tech school is 7, 8 months long, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it was 10 for me because I fucking failed twice, but yeah, it's usually 8 months.
Good lord, man. Well, dude, no fucking listen, no fucking no shame in that, man. Like that shit, one of the hardest fucking jobs in the military. No, in the Air Force, no less, because in the Navy as well, Marine Corps too. But like those weather guys like you, man, you guys, the whole mission is on your guys is on your guys' back, dude. It's up to you guys to be able to tell what the weather patterns are. Who when's a good time to send planes in the air. When's a good time to not? I mean, I literally, I could just, why don't you let me know what that job is like? What's a day to day like for you?
Mine is a little different than I think most weather forecasters, just because I work at a hub. So at the hub, we work on West Coast mostly. There's another group that works in South America, but the issue with the difficulty with working on West Coast weather is the terrain features. So we have the
Okay.
Rockies in Colorado. We have a lot of fog building up on like the Southern California coast. We have tornadoes happening in like Wyoming and Montana, and we have heavy snow and heavy rain coming into Washington and Oregon. So having the ability to understand those things at a scientific level, and being able to perform these forecasts at a timely manner, it's very difficult. It's very demanding, and just being a guy that barely made it out of that school, it's still hard for me, even a year in. So I understand that, like, we are mission essential. I've never had a holiday off. I've never had a single holiday off.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, we work 24/7. We've got a 24/7 schedule. So if need be, they're going to call us in and say, "Hey, you got to come to work." Uh,
Yeah, that
and
is
it's
intense, man. That
Yeah,
is
man, it's
intense.
it's demanding, and pilots are flying 24/7, so we're given weather 24/7. That's the gig.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of responsibility, man. And like I said, dude, there's no freaking shame in fucking taking longer. Don't I don't ever want to hear you say that, oh, I just made it out. Dude, you fucking made it. You're the man. You're the man for that shit. Because I remember, dude, there were times when you would come back from class and you were just like, dude, fuck this. I'm ready to blow this shit up. And
Ah,
I was like, Doug, I don't listen, dude. You're almost through. Just get through this shit. I got your back no matter what you decide to do, man. You're a good dude regardless. Like, if this isn't it, you can get something else. But dude, you stuck with it, and there's something to be fucking said about that. So props to you, Doug. All the props.
thank you so much, man. It does mean a lot hearing you say that, even when you said it before. And um, I really stuck with the program because I wanted to see what I was made of. How far can I really go? Because I was barely making it out of there. Sometimes I'd make like a 50 or a 60 on some of the pre-tests,
Mm,
and just from studying, till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and then going into class the next day, and then still studying on my lunchtime. I
Jesus.
wouldn't even
Yeah.
eat lunch. I'd be like,
Wow.
damn, like I'm gonna skip lunch and just go over these again and again and again, and say it to myself and try to just make it through. And fuck it, man. Like it really shows, like, if you want something, you really can do it. You just have to, like, want it. You have to really need it in your life. And I
Hell
just
yeah.
needed to
Hell
know I
yeah.
could go through something like that.
No, dude, you're a resilient guy, man. Just knowing you personally and knowing the stuff you've been through, dude, you're a hell of a resilient guy. So this is I know that this is like one of the least hardest things that you've had to deal with comparatively, man. So I know that even though it was
Shit, thank
difficult,
you.
a lot of guys like wouldn't have been able to make it. And I think you mentioned that there's a high dropout rate for that AFSC, right?
Yes, sir. Like a 40% dropout rate when I was
Wow.
going through. All my buddies are
Yeah.
like dropping like flies, and all your buddies, they're just gone. You never see them again. You can see them on
Jesus, man.
Snapchat or Facebook, but you'll never see them again in person because they're not in the program anymore. So,
Yeah, yeah, I definitely know what that's like, man. You know, being in an AFSC that you think you know, you're going to be in, and then the next day not being there anymore based on either your performance or some outside issues. Is something I've experienced as well personally. We don't have to get into the nitty gritty of that, but originally I was going to be in public affairs, and ended up having to switch over to admin, which is where I met you down in Biloxi. But originally, I was in Maryland at the Defense Information School at Fort Meade, and yeah, that AFSC is still something I'm very passionate about doing and returning to, and hopefully, I'll get the chance. I put in a packet to become an officer, so hopefully, they'll that will turn out you know for the best. So keep your fingers crossed there for me, but bro, I got got some stuff in the works.
bro, I would love to be in that fucking program.
Dude, you should fucking cross. Dude, you should
I
definitely
can't.
fucking look into cross. Oh, they won't let you.
Yeah, color deficiency. They wouldn't let me have it. But I look at
Oh my
colors all day in weather, so it's so wacky. It's
yeah, the
so
Air Force.
wacky.
It's that's so strange. Yeah, but it's stuff like that is such bullshit. I don't know. Maybe there's a waiver for it. I don't know. What, dude? If I become an officer, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fucking reach out to you and see if they reach dig into that AFI and see if there's anything I can find to get a waiver.
Excuse me, can
And
we hire Airman Guerrero over here in New York?
dude,
Oh,
I'm
that's
gonna need you.
perfect.
I'm gonna personally request you to come to my base, and then that way you can move to New York, bro. You can live in the fucking
Oh
city,
fuck, I would love it.
and yeah, man. So, but speaking of weather, real quick before we switch to anything else, any UAPs, bro? Any UFOs? Any suspicious activity in the skies?
So, from what I understand, every once in a while, if you look at satellite, you might see something a little strange. But The hard part about that is that satellite is really seeing the giant picture of what's going on. So it's really really difficult to see something as small as like an aircraft or something like that.
Interesting.
It would have to be fairly large for us to be able to pick it up. So no,
Gotcha.
I haven't seen any UFOs personally.
Okay.
And I do
But
look at
you're
satellite all day, but
you're only a year in. There's still a chance. You
there's
never
still
know.
time, bro. There's
It's
still
still
time to pick
time.
those motherfuckers up.
Dude, as soon as you see something, dude, we got to hit our boy Jeremy Corbell up and give him the 411. That's for sure.
Create a new documentary.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, yeah. The
The
Guerrero and
the Guerrero
and
files.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit, that'd be hilarious, dude.
Dude, I
So
cannot wait for that.
so I heard you have a new lady in your life.
Yes, this is true.
How long have you been dating her?
So we started dating like right when I got back from tech school, um, which was like around maybe, I don't know, late summer last year, and it's been it's been great, man. Stuff kind of materialized really quickly. um she's a therapist, and she works with her clients and her patients that she's a psychotherapist, so she's constantly working with people who need assistance and with whatever they're going through on a day to day. And she's been really great because the minute I got back from tech school, I got activated to go to Elmira. So this whole time we've kind of been in like a quasi long distance relationship because she's been living in Brooklyn and I've been living in Elmira. So I got back not too long ago. Um, Still technically on orders because I'm on leave for a certain amount of time, but I've been back at my apartment now for a couple days, and we're getting acclimated to living with each other. And we just went to Peru, and yeah, man, it's been really great, man. I can't say enough good things about her.
That's really good to hear, man. It's so hard
Yeah.
to find a relationship that can be solidified like that. How is Peru?
Well, dude, Peru is like nothing else that I've ever experienced. It was my first time going to Latin America, going to South America, and dude, being a guy who not only like grew up in LA but looks Hispanic, and kind of has some Latin roots, not like directly. I'm For people that don't know, I'm biracial, but I look Hispanic, and I grew up in LA, so like I've had a lot of my boys have been from South America or Central America, and it was a great opportunity to get down there to just really be entrenched in that culture, and see what it's like to be in a different part of the world, and how they live life, and see how they live life and experience life. It was great. Got the opportunity to go to Machu Picchu, which was breathtaking, man. If anybody out there hasn't had the chance to go, and Chris, dude, I highly recommend you go, man. It's like being on another planet. It's honestly like some sci-fi fantasy shit. Like I've never fucking experienced
Oh
anything
my
like that
god.
before. It's
Hell
intense,
yeah.
man. It's intense. The air is so clear. There's like you're literally in a mountain, so just the process of getting to Machu Picchu in itself is a fucking arduous journey. So like, let me break this shit down. So basically, you get to Lima, which is the capital of Peru, and then from there you jump on a plane. Okay, and you got to go to Cusco, which is this mountain town already. It's like a smaller kind of village. Lima is like a huge city, like New York or LA or Phoenix or something like that. It's like a huge metropolitan city. But then you go to this smaller town called Cusco, and this is kind of like a mountain town, something like maybe along the lines of like an Elmira, or like like maybe a smaller town in the outskirts of LA, like Palm Springs, or like somewhere in Central California, like Modesto or something like that. And from there you have to jump on a bus, a 2 hour bus ride, to get to this other smaller, more remote town. And then from there, you have to take a train another hour, about an hour and a half away, just to get to the mountainous region of this mountain town. And then from there, it's about a half an hour hike up until you finally get to Machu Picchu. And then from there, you're in like this city. It's amazing. It's crazy. It's like nothing I've ever experienced before. I'd highly recommend it.
Man, I would fucking love that. I have a couple of family members from what's the town called? It's called Panama. It's the country, Panama.
Yep, definitely. I mean, I've never been there. I would love to go, but this country is, I can imagine it's probably similar to that. It's a third world country, but like like in the big cities, it's just like living in any other big city. There was this mall in Lima that was like, dude, it's like nothing I'd ever seen. It's like for people that live on the West Coast in LA, like, and it's like if you go to the Palisades, it's like having a mall right on the bluffs above the ocean, and it's like you can drink, you can go shopping. There's people, you're it's intense, and everything else is just like a regular. It's like stuff is super cheap there. It's really cool for like an American or Americans like you or me, we go there and we're like, wow, this place is. There's nothing really like it in North America, in my opinion.
Hell yeah. So, are you living with your new girlfriend? Are you still living like separately? What's the deal? How long have you guys been
so
together?
so we've been together since oh god, don't let me fuck this up. We've been together since October, so coming up on a year now, like 9 months, give or take. And yeah, we got the opportunity to start living together because the place where I was living in Brooklyn, all the roommates that I had ended up moving out. So she had some situation that was going on where she also needed to move out of her place. And I was like, hey, look, if you want, there's nobody in my apartment. I'm in Elmira most of the time. We can try. It's kind of like a little, like, it was like a baby step to living together. You move in, we can hang out when I come down. But for the most part, I'm going to be upstate. So this is really going to be your place until I come back. And, then we start living together full time. And yeah, it's been a few days now that we've been doing that. And, everything, obviously every relationship has their ups and downs, but I mean, for the most part, this I couldn't be happier. She's a super solid person, um, and I can't say enough good things about her, man. Yeah, we've been living together for let's see, officially a few days, but like unofficially probably, or let's say officially probably a few months, but officially like just for a few days.
Go ahead and tell me what it's been like as far as dating in New York City. Just like you and her going on dates.
Yeah. So before, I mean, obviously before this relationship, um, I'd been, single for a number of years since I'd moved to LA, or since I'd moved from LA. But yeah, I mean, dating in New York, man, you know, it's pretty much, it's a lot what you'd expect, but it's also a lot, expect the unexpected because um, it's it's its own beast, man. I mean, being single and you know living that life and making a transition over to actually being in a committed relationship is something that it's definitely something to get used to because having the freedoms and having the stuff, the ability to kind of not be held accountable for anything and kind of just living life as you want to live it. um yeah, you gotta kind of get accustomed to sharing your space and your time and your energy with somebody else, and making time for that connection and to understand this person and what they like, what they don't like, and everybody's an individual. So it's definitely interesting. Luckily though, I got lucky enough to meet somebody who's actually really responsible and has their head on their shoulders and has a lot going for them. So I'm just trying to match that, and that same kind of energy and level of commitment and responsibility now that I am in this relationship, which is its own challenge because I mean, dude, like like you don't, being single guy, like you don't really have to be anywhere at any time, or be held, held accountable for any of your actions as far as when you're in a relationship. So making that transition is a little bit difficult, just to kind of find your footing and just to kind of be a little bit more aware, self-aware. And I'm a pretty self-aware person, I like to think, but there's been some challenges, definitely, like with making an adjustment. So, but the dating scene in New York, man, it's it's fast, it's furious, and it's not, unfortunately, Dom, if you're out there, it's not about family. Okay, there's no family aspect
No
to this.
family.
Not at all, dude. It's just get yours, get out. Don't get ghosted, ghost motherfucker, ghost. It is what it is. But I mean, there's so many people out here, dude. You can't really get attached, and it's hard to find somebody that's you know, worth a damn. So I think that, at this point in time in my life, I was kind of, looking for something. If I wasn't really looking for anything serious, but if something serious did come my way, I would definitely, you know, entertain it. And yeah, that's kind of how I ended up in the situation that I'm in now.
Good for you, man. Good for you. I'm currently single. I've been single for since February. So what, like maybe 5 months? It's about 5, 6 months maybe.
Yep.
Um, but I was actually in love in my past relationship. So I got into this relationship, my ex relationship, around November, right after Halloween.
Hmm.
And I was dating a bartender here in Arizona. And dude, it was just like head over heels. I got along with this person. Dude, let me tell you, she gave me the absolute best Christmas gifts I've ever gotten, ever, ever. It was
That's
crazy.
important. That's important, man. Those gifts, dude. The person that knows how to gift, like, there's nothing like that.
It was weird, man. I've never had this happen before, but she gave me a 1996 copy of Soundgarden's Rolling Stone cover magazine.
Whoa.
And Soundgarden is like my all-time favorite band. She found a guy that was like a collector, and he decided to sell a copy, and I was extremely blown away. We spent the day after Christmas reading this magazine from 1996, looking at ads that were talking about like fucking eh, brand new cell phones that came out, and all of the new bands that were coming out at the time. Rage Against the Machine was in there, Alice in Chains, and these were all like new articles at the time, and it was just talking about new entertainment, new politics, and everything in Rolling Stones. And it felt like I was time traveling with this girl that I was just falling madly in love with,
Wow.
and she also got me a guitar pick because I just recently got into guitar playing. I see you got a guitar back behind you.
Yeah, I got my bass guitar back there. I just picked it up not too long ago, trying to get down on that, learn some stuff. I'm trying to keep myself busy, but yeah, it's still a work in progress.
Yeah, man. I just picked up a bass guitar too. So during Christmas she got me a guitar pick made from a Texas quarter. So somebody like handcrafted and cut a Texas quarter and made it into a guitar pick for me. That was my Christmas gift. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah, dude, that's
Right?
that's
I
different.
was
That's
like,
crazy.
damn, this is like wife material. Like, what the fuck am I dealing with over here? And she just she just baffled me. I mean, she was gorgeous. She knew every spot in Arizona because she's been here forever. She's been here for I think over a decade.
Wow.
And and man, it felt like this might be the one. This might be like the one girl that like is the one for me. And unfortunately, after we had our second breakup, we had two breakups.
Wow.
Um, we just ended it, and we just decided, we're just two different people. And the crazy part is that I think it's number one. I think the reason we broke up was because she had a lot of trauma that I just couldn't. I don't know. I couldn't always understand. And
Mhm.
as much as I tried, she would just I felt like she just couldn't, express herself to me appropriately. Sometimes it was too aggressive,
Right.
and there was another time where I felt like, I don't know, there was just something that had bothered me, anyway, I was when we broke up the second time, it was like, well, damn, like, this is for real, this is gonna happen, so I actually gave it, like, a couple of months, man. I gave it, like, about 5 months, and then I sent her a letter.
Wow.
Yeah, I sent her a letter, and I was telling her, "I've never felt this way about a woman before, and, I I still think about you all the time." Like, it's true, like, I still see her, when I'm driving in my car or when I'm I don't know, when I'm laying down in my bed watching a movie, and all I think about is watching HBO Max with her, arguing about what movie we're about to watch next, and
Oh, dude, that argument that's definitely a universal relationship argument right there
right?
for sure.
Oh man,
Absolutely.
and it's like a good problem to have. It's like the problem that you wish you had sometimes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm like, damn, like I just don't know sometimes. I think like, damn, I really, who knows? Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe it just wasn't right. Who fucking knows? But I definitely know that I've never felt this way about a woman before.
Wow. That's
So,
intense.
oh yeah,
I mean,
oh yeah,
dude, that's crazy to hear because I know the feeling. I feel like the same kind of emotion and intensity with the girl that I'm with now because we have such a deep emotional connection. It felt like we were best friends pretty much instantly, and we talk on the phone for hours, and we have the ability to kind of just kind of form our own little bubble, and it's just us versus the world kind of a thing. And we've gotten into detail about all kinds of stuff, our past relationships and her past relationship, and what we want to do in our future and all this stuff. And we're two very different people as well. Like the way that we look at life is very different, but being with somebody that kind of sees things a little bit differently than you do, I feel like can be beneficial in a way because they allow you to change your perspective, or maybe open up some different stuff and different things that you weren't able to see 100%. So um yeah, just being with this girl has been like being in like a, I don't know, like a time like a it's, I don't want to say like a time capsule, but it's been like we've done so much that like I care about in such a short amount of time. It's really mind blowing. And um yeah, without getting too deep into it, man, I hope that stuff, to bring this back to you, hopefully that the stuff that you and your ex, the moments and the times that you shared together, like the gifts that she gave you that were really awesome, those can last, those can mean something, to not only just now but in the future as well, you know.
yeah. Of course, and it's crazy, man. I can't help it. I dream about her. I sometimes when I hear a certain song, it hits that PTSD. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
even to this day, I'm thinking like, damn, like as I'm dating new girls now and seeing what the dating scene is like out here, I keep thinking like, man, none of these make me nearly as happy as she did. But at the same time, it wasn't like I was, I don't know, 1,000% happy all the time. And I'm
Hmm.
wondering, is it supposed to be 1,000% happy all the time? Like, who knows? Like,
Well,
was this the
no,
one person that's supposed to be the soulmate of your life? The one that you decide to have all of these vows for, and say, you know what, I'm thinking about getting married to this lady. It's crazy.
it's a lot to think about. It's a lot to consider. I mean, I look at love kind of like this. Like, you have, your first love, you have your soulmates, you have the loves of your lives, you have all these different types of loves and relationships that you can be in, and each one is special, each one is unique. But the most important one is the one where I feel like you can be most comfortable and be yourself without any fear of you know any fear of recourse or any fear of being judged, no judgment, and you know, a relationship that makes you want to grow and be better as a person. Somebody that has something to offer in return for you offering what you have to offer. And there's a give, there's a take, but there's always a constant understanding. It's not going to be 1,000% getting along all the time. I mean, that's just like a freak show. Who is always happy? Nobody. That's ridiculous. Like you can't expect that. But what you can expect is somebody to accept you for who you are, your flaws, and your your like all of the good positive attributes as well. So I think that for me, finding a person like the girl I'm with now who does that, who really is excellent at doing that, is was a huge deciding factor for me to get to be with her, for
Well,
sure.
well, I got to tell you, man, I think I was pretty goddamn close. I think I was
Yeah,
almost there. I think that this girl was pretty much almost the one.
yeah,
But
man.
but at the same time, you know me. I'm kind of a really creative, crazy guy,
Yep.
and this girl, she wanted to. When I first met her, she told me, Chris, I don't want any kids. I don't want to have like a regular family life. And I was like, oh, no way. Perfect. Perfect. This is awesome. Because I'm a crazy guy. I still want to go act and I want to go out to New York City and I want to pursue an acting career and really live the life and dedicate my life to Meisner and learning, how to be on stage and how to be on film and how to pursue a life in acting. And at the time, I think we were both at the same page.
Mm.
But as time went on and as the love got a little more intense, the conversation started to shift. And it's not that I think that they were bad or anything like that. I almost considered, maybe I shouldn't be so crazy.
Well,
This girl,
shift. Let me stop you. Shift in what direction? Like she started wanting to settle down a little bit more, or you? Okay.
yeah,
Am
she
I on?
she
Yeah.
she started talking about having a Toyota 4Runner.
Not the Forerunner. Not the. It's
Yeah.
funny that you bring that up. That was my childhood car that I fucking remember riding around. We had like this maroon red Forerunner that my dad bought, and me and my sister like completely destroyed that thing. So you probably dodged a bullet there, dude, with the Forerunner.
Well, I don't know if I dodged a bullet, but she started talking about how she was considering, trading in her car for a Toyota 4Runner and how she was thinking about having this fantasy of a life where she had two dogs and two cats and she had this man that loved her very much. And I did fantasize about maybe having children one day. and
Yep.
and and I'm at the
No.
age where that's a conversation. I'm 26, she was 25, and
Yep.
all of her friends are having kids. Everybody's talking about you know settling down and thinking about creating a family. And this
Yep.
was something that she didn't talk about when I first started the relationship. And this is something I definitely did not talk about in the relationship.
Yep. Definitely.
But at the same time, I felt like almost like, Chris, maybe you shouldn't be so crazy. Maybe you could give
Well.
this girl something that both of you could be happy for. But at the same time, I was like splitting my personality and saying, Chris,
Mm.
you're a fucking nutcase. You know exactly who you are. You got to go to New York City, man. You got to go to New York City and you got to be a fucking wild man. You got to give this everything. Who gives a fuck if you're 30 years old and you're trying to be an actor? Who gives a fuck?
Dude,
But at the
listen,
same
man.
time, I'm thinking, oh man, this girl, she's got me, man. She's got me.
Well, I'll tell you like this, dude. I mean, you're a young guy, man. I got some years on you, and let me tell you, dude, I don't see anything wrong with living your life to the fullest. Making sure that you take care of your needs first is tantamount to you know having any type of follow up or any type of partner with a follow up dream, like having kids, having a life. Like, dude, you want to be successful, you want to be settled, you want to be all into your shit and taking care of all the things that checked off your list so you're good. That way, when it is time to settle down for real, you're like, dude, I did it. I'm good. And like, be take it from me, dude. I got a couple years on you. I'll be 30. I'll be 34 coming up pretty soon, and dude, you got time. I don't have kids right now. I'm in this career in advertising. I'm in the Air Force. I'm still figuring stuff out. Luckily, I have a girl that, she's around the same age as me. And, she's like a working professional as well. She's not entirely dead set on having kids immediately, which still gives us time to work on our personal shit. And that's the kind of freedom that you want to have, man. You want to be able to live the life that you set out and your dreams and that your goals, be able to accomplish those and have a partner that supports you in every way. And then when the time comes that you do want to settle down, they're all in on that too. I think that's crucial.
Well, it was pretty goddamn close. I was about to give it all up, man. I was thinking like, damn, maybe I should just go work on air conditioners for a living and give this girl a real good living and move to Texas, move back to Texas and let her meet my family. And it was crazy, man. I actually started to she introduced me to her family early on. So I got to go
Wow.
spend Christmas with them, and
Wow.
I started to really like hanging out with her sisters, I was her little sister, who's like 10 years old, probably I think she was like 8 or 9 years old. She would call me up and be like, "Hey, Chris, how are you?" And "Hey, do you want to play Among Us?" On the phone. And "Hey, Chris, I'm coloring this coloring book for you, and I just want to show you." And I was like, "Wow, this is really special. I've never had a second family to
Mm.
come to and take to dinner and tell them, hey, I want to know what you're up to, and
Oh yeah, man. No, I mean, dude. I mean, as we both know, our family lives are kind of crazy. Um, we don't have to go into too much details about that, but my girl and I went out to LA and she met my family really early on as well. Like,
oh wow,
everybody got along great. She got to meet my nephew, whom I love. Shout out, family baby. What's going on, sir?
hey,
And yeah, and I got the opportunity to meet her dad and spend a lot of time with them. And he really, the thing is like, it's crazy, man. He like took me in like I was a son. Like I was, and I never felt so much love and really like just unconditional love and support from somebody's family, like just instantly like that. It kind of let me know, like, hey, like this is a little bit different. It felt different, so I'm 100% on board with you there.
yeah, man, it was super special. So my ex's dad was a ranger.
Okay.
He did 20 years as a ranger,
Good lord.
and this poor guy, he tried to become a warrant officer that was a pilot, like a helicopter pilot.
Yep.
But he became too old for them to say, "Hey, you're going to be an operational pilot." So they cut him from the program. So he went through
Wow.
all this training for nothing. This poor guy. But
Hmm.
anyway, he's got a great living. He's got this crazy ass like racing simulator in his house where this like car driving seat vibrates and it moves and shit, and you
What the
drive like dude. I was so on Christmas Day, I was driving this fucking simulator, right? And I was like in a Corvette Z06 like racing car driving on a track going like 300 miles an hour. I was
holy
like
shit.
I was like, "Whoa!" It was like driving this fucking thing in this computer seat thing, and it was amazing. And
Wow.
the family was great. They were playing board games all night and they were joking around with me and man, I'd never had that before, especially being
Yeah.
in the military when you're hundreds of miles away from home, and when you have a little taste of something close to that, you're like, damn, like this is really nice.
Yeah. No,
But
definitely, man. Family. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think what's happening. in a young man's mind like mine is there's a part of me that's like, dude, you got to be that fucking cowboy. You've got to be that lone wolf that's going out there and still acting and still
Yeah, that
going for the
alpha
big
dog.
dream. Yeah,
Yeah,
man, you're
man.
going out there. You're,
Yep.
you're trying to be on Broadway. You're trying to be on, the next fucking Listerine commercial, the next Birdman movie, the next I don't know, the next TV show hit, whatever.
Hell yeah.
And then there's another part of me that's like, Chris, this girl's great. She's beautiful. She's caring. She's loving. Why couldn't you just stop being so crazy and love this woman? And I wish I had a real answer to that. But the truth is that I'm a crazy motherfucker and I've got to go out there and do this thing. And so when I go to bed at night and I still dream about her, I know that when I wake up, I'm that motherfucking actor. I'm that motherfucking entertainer. I've got to go out there and play this fucking guitar for these motherfuckers, and I've got to go out there and show them what I'm about. And that's one of the only things that drives me is just knowing that I've still got that feeling. It hasn't died. I'm still here. So hopefully that never goes away. And maybe 10 years from now when we're talking about this and you're still on this podcast, we're like, Chris, holy shit, man! Like, God damn, you were right the whole time, bro. You're just a crazy guy, and
Listen,
hopefully
man,
that's the truth.
like I said before, dude, come out to New York, man, join the guard, do some public affairs. You already got a plug in there. I got you covered. Um, if you ever want to come out, we'll figure it out. But the thing is, man, if it was meant to be, it's meant to be. And you guys, who knows, man? Maybe 5, 10 years down the line, you guys will get back together, or shit will change, and things can end up working out. It's all about compromise. Relationship is based on compromise. It's two different people with different life goals coming together and trying to make shit work. And if you can really come to a good understanding of what the other person wants, you can make the impossible happen, man. And make sure that just it sounds like you had one of a kind experience, and I know what that's like. The girl that I'm with now, same experience, man. She's an amazing person. She's beautiful. I love her. She gives me all the fucking room to be who I am, and she's understanding. And it's hard because I'm a crazy motherfucker too, just like you, dude. Like I have a crazy life, and shit's getting settling in a little bit more now because I'm getting a little bit older. But dude, one thing that you got to do is just like you said, man. If you passed up on that type of a situation, make sure that what you're doing is worth it, and make the most of it, man. And I know you will, man. I know you will. And
So
I got your back if you ever need any help with that, dude. So you already know.
I really want to know, what's it like out there for a life in New York City, as far as your buddies that are actors, entertainers, and even advertising? I want to go more in depth about the advertising business out there in New York City. Is it like Mad Men? When we sit here watching Netflix and we're seeing John Hamm going out there hard as fuck trying to sell to, you know, the oil companies and the car companies and all those big names. What's it like out there?
Yeah, man. So I mean, as far as life, I'll start with life for an entertainer and actor. This is where you want to be, man. It's either here or in Los Angeles. But I definitely say, like, you got to put your time in out here, doing what you love out here. This is the mecca for that. Whether you want to be an actor, stage actor, theater, or commercial actor, or TV or movies. This is where everything is happening as far as where you can make connections. All of the big agents and management companies are out here, and this is you definitely should you gotta come out here and get your feet wet and get some skin in the game out here, and then you can really build yourself up and move forward from there. You know, just making connections with other people who are in the industry. That's what this is all about. You have to do that here to be able to succeed. And you never know, dude, if you're grinding on this stuff every day, you know, who knows what can happen in 6 months, a year, 2 years time. It can all happen. So just be persistent. I definitely am looking forward to you getting out here and experiencing this, man. And I got a bunch of buddies I would love to introduce you to out here. Some good people. And also, we can work on stuff too, as far as, advertising. Like, I'm a writer. So, I've always had different writing pursuits that I've been interested in, as far as writing music and doing hip hop and rap and stuff. I'm still dabbling in that. I've got a project coming up, that I'm working on now, that's in the works. Something that a lot of people probably haven't heard before, which could be pretty cool. Stay tuned for that. And then as far as writing shows and TV scripts and commercials and stuff like that, I love to do that kind of stuff too. I got a bunch of ideas. I know I ran one by you not too long ago. So we, if you want to get together offline after this and try to hash some stuff out on that end, I'd be more than happy to do it, man. Because I feel like there's a bunch of stuff that's out there, and they need more content. So we definitely, being young and being talented, dude, we got to put the work in. So and and advertising it's the same type of thing, man. There's always people chomping at the bit. They're on your heels. It's always what's this what's the next big tagline? What's the next big brand promotion, experimental ad experience? A lot of stuff with consumer ads that I worked in was all about staying on the the bleeding edge of exactly what's coming out next. Like, how can we capitalize on current trends in the market? How can we speak to people like they want to be spoken to? How can we make our brand relatable to the people that consume our products? All that stuff is integral to talk in advertising. Then when you switch over to the pharma stuff, I mean, that's a whole different beast of trying to make sure that you're speaking to the people that you're marketing to in a way that, number one, is respectful to whatever disease state or whatever drug you're marketing to them. It's there's a lot of legal that goes into it. I'm sure you've seen those commercials online or on TV that have a ton of freaking small print. If you're experiencing these symptoms, please call your doctor. If you take this
Exactly.
drug, and that's all this stuff called fair balance. It's crazy. And you, as a copywriter in advertising, you have to be really, really in touch with what the side effects are. They call them comorbidities. What the MOA, or the mechanism of action, is for your drug. How does it work? Where do you fit in with the competitors, and how can you market your drug most effectively? There's all these intangibles that go with it. And then then you get into the stuff of, like, creating website manuscripts, creating brochures, pamphlets, different interactive visual aids for doctors. Sometimes you're talking to doctors, sometimes you're talking to patients, sometimes you're talking to nurse practitioners. So it's all about being able to cater to that audience and speak to them in a way that they understand, that they respect, that is most effective to them. And it's a learning process, man. It's definitely something that changes constantly. And it's information. It's constantly coming at you. You gotta stay current events. Different developments and drug trials and studies and reading clinical data. It's all that's all pharmaceutical advertising stuff. But it's there's definitely room for some of that Wild West stuff too. Drinking, going crazy, hanging out late, staying up till whatever time in the morning. But it's a lot of being on point too, making sure all your shit's tight, because you have deadlines, you have clients that you need to talk to that are expecting different types of creative looks at different needs that they may have. So it's a wild ride, man, to be sure. And there's some good people in this industry, and there's some fucking shit bags in this industry too that just literally want to throw you under the bus. So you got to have your guard up. It's kind of sharky. It's definitely a crazy environment. But it's not too much different than entertainment. You always got to be on point. And if it's not you, there's another guy coming right behind you that's trying to take your job. It's intense.
I do love hearing about cowboy shit. I love hearing about cowboy shit. But what can you tell me about Mad Men? Let's compare Mad Men to what you do every day. What are the similarities? What are the complete Hollywood personas that we see on screen?
And you're going to be disappointed right now when I tell you this, but I've never actually watched Mad Men.
What?
Can you believe it? As somebody that works in the ad industry, I've never watched Mad. Don't tell anybody that. I guess the secret's fucking out now. But yeah, I mean, as far as I know, from what I've seen, it's that era of advertising. That was like that was like the frontier age. That's like coming out to, like you said, Wild Wild West. These people don't know, you know, their right from their left. All this different stuff's going on. You're trying your, you got, you're smoking in the office. You got your secretary. You're trying to have sex with her. She ends up becoming like a big person at the agency. I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even tell you how crazy stuff used to be, but how it is now, it's similar but different. I mean, I can only tell you what I've experienced in the past few years. Um, living living in this city, there's no time to rest on your laurels. It's always, what have you done for me lately? What's the next best thing? Is this idea better than the next person? And you got to constantly be selling yourself. So as far as I know, that's kind of the gist of the industry to me. I'm gonna go catch up on Mad Men, and then the next time we have a chance to talk, I'll come back to, I'll revisit that question for you. How about that?
Look, man, I've probably seen Mad Men 3 times over.
God damn.
It's a fucking brilliant show. For a guy that's in advertising, that's wild that you haven't given it a chance. 100%. That's got to be like your new like golden life is to watch at least the first season of Mad Men. It's too
Oh,
good
dude,
not to pass up.
I'll go check it out literally. To like as soon as we get off this podcast, I'll queue it up. Is it on Netflix? Is it on Hulu? What's it on? Is it
I
Amazon?
I think it's still on Netflix. It's been on Netflix for years, I think. But it's for a guy that's in advertising, you would fall in love with it. This guy, first of all, the main character is kind of like a rouge. He's he's like an anti-hero. He's a guy that, you know, he makes a lot of mistakes. He has a lot of problems, but at the end of the day, you really feel for this guy. He's got so many problems that weigh on him that you kind of sympathize with him for that reason. You know, he doesn't have these problems just because, just because he's got some serious problems.
Okay.
So hopefully when you watch the show and we talk for the second time, you'll come back and be like, oh my god, I understand what you're talking about now. But
I'll check it out literally this weekend. I'll make a point of it, and then I'll hit you up and I'll let you know. And
oh man,
we're definitely going to jump back on that for sure.
he's got so many great lines in that show too, and so many great pitches. But yeah, when you watch that show, let me know and we'll catch up. So what I want to know also is, what are your entertainer friends doing out there in LA and in New York City? What is it like for an entertainer out there today?
Yeah, I mean, it's just grinding. It's all about grinding, finding, you know, shows and open mics and anything that you can get going, that you can add to your resume, your portfolio, your reel, working with people, networking, collaborating. It's a crazy environment to say the least. And it's something that you just got to be a part of to understand. And honestly, like I'm looking forward to you getting out here and seeing that, because in LA it's the same thing. I mean, I know a lot of stuff in LA. It's like, the preconceived, you know, like the thought about, LA is like, oh, it's so fake here. It's this and that, and you're right, it is. And especially being a native Angelino growing up in LA, dude. I've seen people come and go, people's acting dreams fall short, and I've seen actors who are 50, 60 years old still trying to get their big break, man. And it's cutthroat, man, and you got to really know your lane, and you can't really let you can't let your pride get the best of you, dude. You got to be able to be flexible, whether it's taking an open mic and having zero people at your show, or going and doing background work and sitting in an audience and just getting $100 check for the day, and just to have some money coming in, just to say that you were there, and then linking up with your buddies on like your personal project, and renting equipment out, and trying to get a manager, and trying to get an agent, and trying to submit your reel to all of these different production companies, and your ideas, and marketing yourself. It's intense, man. It's intense. It's definitely something that I think you'd excel at if you're a part of.
Thank you for that. But I do know that just, man, like talking to regular people about acting, it's so difficult because everybody thinks that, like, man, when I talk to regular people, whether they're in the military or they're civilians, they think, like, as soon as I say that, oh, I love acting, I'm an actor, they think, oh, he's a prima donna, or this guy is like a person that's trying to get rich quick. He's a guy that, like, he's just like he's a, I don't know, he's a cack. He doesn't give a fuck about anything. But the honest truth is that if you were to go to New York City and you were to see how people treat actors over there, actors in New York City are considered professionals. They're considered guys that truly have a craft. They have something that they work at every day. And that's like if you were to go to Texas and you were to tell somebody, I'm a carpenter.
Mhm.
I make furniture every day, and I know how to use the sawmill, and I know how to use these different pieces of wood, and I know how to screw in these certain pieces of metal into this wood to make the best furniture possible for your home. That's what acting is like for a lot of us. But I think what ruins it is that there's there's that certain expectation of what actors should be, and it's to be like that very good looking, that very witty person that can deliver the line, and remember the lines as quickly as possible. And there's a certain truth to that, especially in LA, Los Angeles. But when you're in New York City, or maybe you're in a class or some place that really respects the craft of acting, and where you have to develop the skills to learn how to use, you have to use an accent, or a certain way of moving, or maybe you have an impediment, like there's something strange about you. You do something consistently, like maybe you pull at your ear every time you get nervous, or maybe you have a certain the way you walk because your leg hurts. You were in football practice for so long. You're a professional football player, and maybe you hurt your ankle so many times to where you limp a certain way, but fuck it, you're a man. You still play through the pain. You know, or maybe you've been smoking for like 20 years, and now you've got to grow a really nasty voice, and you got to start learning how to talk like a really nasty person. You know, and these are things that actors have to practice every day, especially if you're one that cares about the craft. So my point being is that actors, the guys that really care about the profession, I feel, are the guys that are in New York, the guys that desire to learn the the very extensive and very complex human emotions that are out and on the stage, where you can't fake anything. Everything on the stage has to be right there, right then, right now. And acting on film, you can say, hey, can we cut? Can we cut? Can we give it a second? Can we get a direction here? On stage, that's not the same thing.
No, definitely not. I mean,
So
yeah, it's all about developing that character that it's about becoming, you know, acquainted, and eventually becoming you know, having that person become a part of you, or you becoming that person. And there's all different types of methods, like you brought up Meisner, method acting. There's a lot of people that just go out there and just be themselves, and then that character gets absorbed into they absorb themselves into that character. And like that Samuel L. Jackson's a great example of that. It's just when you see Samuel L. Jackson, you know what to expect. When you see freaking Johnny Depp, you know what to expect. You know what I'm
Hell
saying?
yeah.
But these are guys that have really been in this game for so long, and they're great character actors too. Like Gary Oldman is a good one.
God
Who
damn,
who
he's
else?
good.
Yeah, who else? There's a bunch of guys that really just get in it.
Tom
What's
Hardy,
that? Tom Hardy, exactly.
Daniel
Tom
Day
Hardy's a fun.
Lewis.
Yeah, you're bringing up all the heavy hitters, man. Those are the guys right there, and like they really become that character, and it's there's that that takes a different type of person. And then you have to have presence as well. You have to have uh, you know a way about you that you conduct yourself, and be able to fluctuate between being a stage actor, a film actor, a voice actor. All these different things coalesce into becoming one thing when you're working at a level like they are. And yeah, dude, like I know that you said you're starting to dabble into voice acting, which is something I'm very interested in as well. So what's that been like for you?
God damn, Rico, it's been one crazy ass project. I'll tell you what.
I
I
bet.
so one of my buddies here that I work with here at the Weather Squadron, he happens to be a video game project manager. So he knows the guys that have created the video games like Duke Nukem,
Wow.
and he knows the guys that have created the games like Doom. So I've had the privilege of being able to work with a bunch of really hardcore nerds that know how to create and how to code and how to edit video games. And here I am voicing the main character, a space bounty hunter named Falco, and
Nice.
I'm playing a couple of the enemies. I'm playing like four of the enemies for this game, and it's it's super liberating to be able to just let loose, man. I play a
Yep.
bug character. I play an elk man. I play a space bounty hunter bird guy, you know, and I'm doing it all from my microphone, and it's super fun. I don't have to worry about how I look on stage or
Mhm.
what my movement is. I'm just playing around with voices like a little kid, and it's been a real privilege.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and that's dude. I can't wait to fucking to see that final product. You should definitely plug it if you get the opportunity, because I'll be on the lookout for that for sure.
Yeah, yeah. The game's name is called Stellar Valkyrie. So anybody out there that's interested, it should be out on PC probably in the next couple of months. But I am the main voice actor for it, and most of the enemies are voiced by me. And hopefully, this leads into something else. I'm a huge fan of animes and video games. Like, how many times have you logged on to fucking Call of Duty and you hear Sergeant Price say like, "Enemy out there, 400 meters," like, or you hear Cowboy Bebop and he's like, "Look into my eyes, Faye." You know, one eye sees the present, the other sees the past, and these guys are making off a living of these amazing movies and video games and all this animation that changes people's lives, man. I mean, how many times have I seen Cowboy Bebop? Probably over a dozen times.
Oh yeah, for sure.
How many times have you played the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign and you go through and you're in the ghillie suit and you're like wondering like, "Oh my god, am I actually going to fucking survive after this whole infantry unit, passes over with a tank?" And you're like, "Oh, don't worry, mate. 200 meters to the surface, and we're almost there. I keep your sniper rifle ready to go. You see that enemy 200? He's 200 meters ahead of us. I good, mate. And it's just
I
it's
mean,
amazing what these guys are capable of doing, and also making money off of just living their dream. You know.
I know it's incredible that the voices that these guys can come up with, and it's funny that you bring that up too because you definitely have some good impressions, and I've always been into impressions ever since I was a little kid. Like doing the Australian accent, it's nothing like it. It's just it's so much more fun. And doing a British accent, it's like a little bit more upbeat. It's a little bit more touch and go. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of freaking playfulness, a lot of fun, and dude, I really wish you the best. And hopefully, one day we get to collaborate on some stuff, man. That would be awesome.
That would be amazing.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. I'm
Rico,
looking forward to that.
this has been one hell of a conversation, man. I love you to death. I wish you all the best out in New York. But
Dude, can't wait till you get out here, man. Let me know if you ever plan on making a trip out here. We'll definitely make the rounds to get to introduce you to my girl and come see my spot and everything. Dude, come ride in my car. I got this fucking sound system in my car. It's fucking amazing. And yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to it, man.
oh shit, that sounds like a dream.
Hell
Well, I'll
yeah.
tell you what, man. One of my buddies out there is also a photographer. He's been doing a bunch of crazy shit out there too. And I got another friend that's a banker out in New York City. But I'd love to see all of you, man. You guys are really living the hardcore dream out there. It's like nothing else. But Rico, I'll say, man, fuck, man. I miss you as a brother, as an airman, and I wish you nothing but the fucking best. Thanks for being
Yep.
on the podcast, and man, if you ever need anything, man, you just call me up.
Dude, the feeling is very fucking mutual, dog. You are the man. It's been a fucking honor to be on your podcast, dude. Thank you for considering this. I have nothing but the fucking best wishes for you, dog. Let me know if there's anything that I can do to help you in your pursuit of any of this. We'll definitely be in contact. And yeah, looking forward to the next time.
Rico Richardson, I fucking love you, man. Take care.
Love you too, brother. You're
Peace
the
out.
man. Peace out, brother.